joining us.
Hello, I'm Ryan Green.
We're two of the advisors here at Brand Asset Management Group. And with it being graduation season, we just wanted to take a few minutes and pass along 5 tips that we think might be helpful to any of you who are graduating or who may be within a couple of years of your graduation. And if you have just graduated or about to, congratulations.
Way to go.
Indeed. I have 2 daughters, and they both graduated from high school recently. And as they were getting ready to head off to college, I thought there were a few things that I wanted to make sure that they were aware of and things for them to be thinking about. So that's kind of the template for what we're going to share with you today. So the first one we're going to start with is a Roth IRA. What is it and why do you care?
So this is probably the recommendation or the tip that has potential to be one of the most impactful things that you can do. It's probably the thing that if we could go back and talk to ourselves when we were 18, just finishing school, we'd probably wrap our hands around our neck very tightly and say, put money into a Roth IRA. It's just that meaningful. But it's something that so few kids do when they're at a young age. To really understand why a Roth might be beneficial, it's pretty important to understand a little bit about taxation. And some of you, especially if you've worked a part-time job at any point, have gotten a little bit of a life lesson in that. And it came when you opened that envelope at your first payday and realized that all the money you thought you were going to get paid, it wasn't in there. It had gone somewhere else that wasn't in your pocket. And in fact, what happened is some of that money that you earned went to the federal government or the state government in the form of paycheck tax withholding to cover the income tax that you owed. See, in the United States, when you earn income, generally you're supposed to pay income taxes on that income. And that's really where the strategy of the Roth starts to become impactful, because it allows you to fund an investment vehicle that has the potential to offer years and a significant degree of tax-free growth. Now, how that works is when you earn money now, you put money into a Roth IRA. And from that point going forward, those dollars that you contributed and all the investment growth that happens on those dollars occurs completely tax-free. Which, if you stop and think about, well, I'm going to put money in when I'm 18 or 19 or 20 years old, you could have 30, 40, 50, 60 years for that to grow completely tax-free. So you can kind of start to see why we get so excited about the potential to get dollars into a Roth structure and really allow them to grow tax-free for a long period of time. And the whole point is when you're just starting out and you've got that first job, or if you're working part-time, your income's probably a little bit lower than it might be later on in life. And that would also lead you to have an income tax bill that might be a little bit lower than it would be later in life. So you can make the decision effectively to pay the tax now and then allow that money to grow into the Roth structure over time and pull that out during a different season in life where your income might be higher and your tax bill might not quite be as low. So that's really the whole concept there, is get the money in and let it grow tax-free for a long period of time. And doing it is relatively easy. So long as you've got the earned income, you can put at least up to $5,500 into the Roth structure in 2018. And you can go online and open these accounts. Fidelity has them, Vanguard has them, Schwab has them. So they make it pretty easy to do that. So that's really that one lesson. If you take nothing else away from this, be interested in the idea, or at least know what a Roth is, right? So this idea of putting money into an investment structure and allowing it to grow over time is something that Phil can tell you a little bit more about.
So investing is this process of taking some amount of money and setting it aside so that it can grow for you over time. And that's really a powerful, powerful concept. And the longer that you can leave the money invested, the more those earnings can accumulate. So that's one of the reasons that this Roth IRA concept that Ryan was discussing can be so incredibly powerful for you, because you do have a long period of time that you can leave it. When you invest in a Roth IRA, that is for retirement. In fact, you can't even get to the money until you're 59 and a half without paying a penalty. So you're really thinking about money that's going to be there for a long time. And so here's an illustration that shows what happens if you invest $2,000 each year for 4 consecutive years and then don't invest any more money. And if those dollars are able to grow at 7% per year over a 40-year period of time, you can see that it grows to be significantly more than the $8,000 that you put in. Those $8,000 could actually grow to a little bit over $100,000. That's an incredibly powerful tool to have working for you. Now, again, we're not advocating that you only invest for 4 years and don't invest anymore. We're just trying to show you very simply the impact of making a decision to invest some dollars now while you're working part-time, while you're in college, when you're in a lower tax bracket like Ryan talked about, and then letting those dollars grow in this tax-free account for a long period of time. It can be very, very powerful. So those are the tips that we're going to share with you right now. If you'd like to click on the link to see 3 more tips that Ryan and I would like to share, go ahead and click on the link now.